everyone, Chelsea Tucker here from TameChelsea.com. Glad that you're here today to talk with me. Today, I want to make sure that you're liking, subscribing, commenting, and checking the description box below to get the extra resources that are available for you. All right, go and do it now. Okay, let's get into today's topic. Today, I'm going to talk about the dynamic of a household and how that can be replicated within our communities, within a variety of different parts of our communities, and how it is important to almost get back to this sense of naturalness, if that's even a word. The idea of the family unit and how important it is. All right. So how do we naturally conceive a child? A man and a female, right? Male, female, they get together and they have a baby, right? Can we get away from that? Science can kind of do it, right? But can we? Not necessarily, right? Because, I mean, the facts are the facts. Makes sense, okay? Now, if you have a male and a female who are in a committed relationship, not saying that the relationship has been established and fully whatever, blah, 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 blah. No, I'm saying that this male and this female are committed to each other, okay? Their likelihood of success will be higher than a relationship where the male and the female are not fully committed to each other. Mind blown, right? The simple facts here, all right? The male and the female have got to be committed in order to create the best possibility of success for a family. I'm not talking about the outliers, okay? They exist. I'm not oblivious to that. I'm saying that as a human being, if we wanted to create the best possibility for our offspring to have this ideal environment to grow up in, it has to be this way, okay? There are things that as a female, I cannot offer to my children that my husband as a male can. There's certain leadership characteristics that are in males versus females that I, first off, don't want to be able to offer, okay? And there's also things that as a female, I just can't offer. I don't have the same type of physical and literal strength as my husband, right? Like scientifically, even men are stronger than women. I mean, we're seeing that in this whole sports debacle, okay? Like, come on. Let's be real with the facts. So if you have a male and a female who are at least committed to each other, you're going to bring down the things where you're not fully in alignment with, and you're going to squash it and you're going to grow. Why? Because you're committed to one another. You've chosen to be in this relationship. That's not to say that divorce doesn't happen. That's not to say that you're always so infatuated with your husband or so infatuated with your wife that you can't but googly eye over them. No, that's not realistic either when it comes to marriage. Why? Because we are human. We have emotions. We have these things inside of us that well up and cause drama within a relationship. Whether it's your own individual relationship with your spouse, and then whether it's your relationship anywhere else in the world, it wells inside of you, and then out of immaturity, you don't know how to handle it. And then it breaks. See how this kind of goes from just a household thing to a bigger thing? You have to be able to conceptualize that. Because if the household, right, isn't in order, there's no way in any sort of means that you are going to influence in a positive way anyone else. You have got to have your own stuff in order before you help somebody else. So, How does this look? What does this look like? So mommy and daddy are the two human people, right, in this family unit that are responsible for the growth of their children. Then you have the children, right? And then those children need assistance. They come to mommy and daddy. It goes back and forth. Okay, we offer different things. That's good. It's good because it's not all pressure on one person. It's great. It's a great concept. Okay, and then also for me as a female, I know that my job is not to be the head of my household. I don't want that pressure. It's a lot. That's not my goal. Has there been certain parts in my life that I've had to take certain control over things? Yeah, but it doesn't mean that that's a state that I want to stay in. That's where burnout happens, especially if you are not designed to take on those roles. Whoa. And then when you're so upset and you're so angry all the time, bitterness is in your heart, and then you're just not nice. Just not nice. And then nobody wants to talk to you. Why? Because you're just not nice. You gotta be nice. Just be nice. Just be nice. That's all. Just be nice. Now apply that to your marriage. Ladies, if there is 1% of whatever you're doing that is wrong, show respect to your husband and apologize for what you've done wrong. And then when they want to come back and they want to argue or something, don't allow that to be a foothold in your marriage. Don't let it be there. It doesn't mean turn around and lash out back at him, because now you're just creating animosity in your home and it's just a whole hot mess. Don't do that. That's nonsense. We're not doing that. We're not going there. Think about your husband as a husband. Like, put him in that perspective of he can lead this family. He can be this. He can be those things that he needs to be. Because I'm going to tell you something, ladies. When you get married, I don't care what age your husband is. He has not experienced marriage. And so if he hasn't experienced marriage, he hasn't understood the concept behind loving somebody over himself. Fully over himself. He has not understood that. He has not had to deal with somebody day in and day out, locked in a house with, going to bed, waking up with a person that you're angry with over something. I mean, come on. Like, what are some of the stupid arguments you've had that you've gone to bed angry over? Like, seriously, you know? He's never had that before. You've never had that before. The idea is that you haven't on either side. It doesn't mean that you haven't gone through a marriage, it didn't work out, and then you got remarried. Sure, that happens. I mean, I'm not negating that. Again, outliers, people. Those are outliers. We're talking about what the initial state of marriage is and how it should be, and how that design should also be implemented in other areas of life. And why? Listen, if it came down to as simple as I was the one who carried our children and birthed them, I mean, I would want to be home too. I don't want to have to hurry up and go right back to work. That's not what I wanted. And honestly, again, we're seeing it in the world that women want longer leaves. Okay, well, if you have a very pressing job, a very important job, and your boss needs you back at work and you're not able to be there because you're having children, well, I mean, that's a whole nother topic to talk about, but the idea is that, like, you still want the experience of having your children. You do. It's just, it is what it is. It just is. It is what it is. So, you know, marry somebody who will, one, at least respect you, and two, marry somebody who's at least willing to provide for his family. Now, this is me as a woman talking to another woman. If he's not willing to do at least those two things, bye. You don't have time for that. You don't have time for that. That's just nonsense. That's just nonsense. We're not going there. Cause you're I don't even know that I could call you a boy at that point. Like you're like maybe a newborn. I don't know. We need at least a boy that can become a man. That's the idea. And ladies, listen, if you want to sit there and you want to put your husband down about like how he's being boyish versus being a man, I mean, that's not going to help him grow. No. Don't do it then. Encourage him to be the man. And then whatever venting you need to do, go and vent to God about that. Because quite frankly, one, you don't want to sound obnoxious and like a noisy gong clapping out in the middle of the street. My life is so horrible. Help. No, all right? Just take a deep breath, deal with it, and then move on. Create that structural system within your own house and then help people in your society, right? Like your towns or wherever you're living. If you are sincerely struggling in your relationship, do not step out and try to help somebody else. Because one of two things will happen. One, you will look like a hypocrite. And two, you may even lose your marriage over it. If you look like a hypocrite, nobody's going to listen to you. And two, if you lose your marriage over it, I mean, what was it worth? Nothing. So don't do that. Mind blown. Create that structure in your house first and then help somebody else. I'll see you next time.